In this video, I'll be showing you how to move the pivot point on your 3D model. Now, you might be wondering, why would you ever want to move it? There's a few reasons why. So, for example, maybe you were creating a model from, like, say, a basic cube, and it's morphed in sort of like in a various different shapes. The pivot may no longer be in the center of your model, so that might affect how you'd rotate around it. So you want to kind of re-centralize it there. You may also find that maybe your pivot point is like really far away and you want to kind of bring it back so it's closer when you're moving around in, say, Unity or in Blender. And sometimes people will move it to help when it comes to snapping to the grid, because a lot of times when we're doing movements in game engines, rather than kind of like doing sort of the free form movements like this, sometimes people will actually want to snap to, say, specific increments or to the actual grid itself. So having the pivot aligned to, for example, on the floor, maybe in the corner floor, could help when it comes to snapping models together in in relation to modular pieces such as these. So you can see in this model that I've imported as well. Uh, the pivot is central to the model, but it's on the floor. So if I'm snapping to the grid, it's always going to be on the floor. So if it's like slightly below, it's like, okay, I know this is actually clipping through the grid. I can just move it up, and boom, it's now level with the grid. Whereas here, because it's centralized, move it down. The pivot maybe on the floor of the grid, but the model is obviously cutting in half. So I can just kind of move that up, and it's just now it's aligned to the floor of the grid. So to move the pivot, it's all based on a couple of things. So one, you can actually just centralize it if you so wish. So if I want to move this back into the middle, I can as long as I'm in object mode, go to object, set origin, and I can do origin to 3D geometry, to geometry. I can do it the other way around as well. So I can go to, say, set origin, geometry to origin. See, that kind of moves it to that pivot there like that. And then we also have origin to 3D cursor. So right now you can see the cursor is over here. So if I go to set origin, origin 3D cursor, you see now that the pivot has moved to where the 3D cursor is. So let's just move this out of the way slightly so I can kind of show you a better example of this. So let's say I want to have my pivot in this bottom corner here. Maybe this is a door, for example, because obviously if you're moving, scaling, and rotating, you're obviously rotating to where that pivot is. So if I want this to be a door, if I try to rotate it right now, a door doesn't rotate this way. It rotates something like this. So that's another reason why you want to move a pivot, is so that it also helps with animation as well. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go into edit mode. So I'm going to press tab. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to press 1 to select vertexes. And I'm going to click this bottom vertex here. And I'm going to actually move the 3D cursor to this vertex. So how I can do that is if I hold Shift and S, and it gives us some options here to move the 3D cursor. So I can say cursor to active. So active basically means whatever you have active at that time. So it could be a face, it could be an edge. In this case, it's a vertex. So if I press that, the 3D cursor is now aligned to that vertice. So now if I go back into object mode, object, set origin, and I can move the origin to the 3D cursor.